What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to the Gorilla Kitchen. I'm Mr. H. Today we're taking our bread and we're taking our pizza and we're putting them together and we're making a beautiful Italian recipe. It's a focaccia pizza bread. So when we're making bread, it's very important that we use the right flour. For an Italian focaccia bread, we're going to want to use a strong white bread flour. We're going to want to use some dried yeast, very important for the rise. We just do a bit of salt and that activates the yeast. This is our chemistry going on here with these two guys. And we need a bit of oil. So I've measured out 500 grams of flour, put it into the bowl. So to our 500 grams of flour over here, I'm just going to get 1 teaspoon of regular sea salt. And this is very important. We need this guy to activate our yeast, which is coming in a moment. And we're just going to mix it in. So what we're going to do with our flour and our salt is we're just going to get messy in the Gorilla Kitchen today. We're going to pour it straight out onto the counter. We're going to do all of our mixing on the counter. And what we're going to do is just create a little well in the middle, because we're going to get our wet liquids in there a minute and start our mixing. Don't worry, counter's really well and clean. Give it a quick wipe over first. It's like a little volcano. Pompeii. What we're doing next is we're going to get our yeast and water solution ready to get that into our flour over there. So we've got 350 millilitres of just a warm water in a cup here. We're going to get 7 grams, that's 1 sachet of dried fast action yeast in with our warm water. Kind of nice actually, that's good. Yeast makes miracles happen. Honestly, it's really special. So we've got our yeast in our water. We're going to get 2 tablespoons of good olive oil in there. I'm using extra virgin olive oil. Got loads of flavour. Give it a little stir. Flour, salt, warm water, yeast, bit of olive oil. This is the fun bit where we get to get a bit messy. We're going to add the water solution, the water and yeast, a little bit at a time until I mix it in as we go along, moving in flour from the sides of our little well that we've made in the middle. Now for the next 5 to 10 minutes, our dough is starting to come together. It's pretty good. Now you might need to add a little bit more water or a little bit more flour to get your dough to about this stage. It's sticky, but that's what we want. We want a sticky dough. I'm going to clear up my mess with my dough itself. Have a look at that, get it all in there. Now a typical way to do it would be to stretch it out and then fold it back on itself. And we need to knead the dough for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's right, that long. It's a bit of a workout, it's good for you. It needs to be kneaded until we're stretching all of those glutens and we're getting a nice smooth springy dough consistency. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, but you've got to keep going at it. So I've been kneading for about 8 to 10 minutes now and it's pretty good. It's pretty much where it needs to be, and I know if it's alright, I know if it's where it needs to be, because if you just put your thumb in it, the dough springs back right away. So our dough is looking good. We're just going to get a little bit of oil in a bowl over here, give it a swizz around, and we're going to get our dough in there, and we're going to cover it with a wet tea towel. It's a lovely hot day here in London, so the dough needs heat in order for it to rise. So we're just going to take our dough, it's a lovely hot day here in London, we're going to leave it by a warm window. It's going to need about an hour to rise, and it needs to double in size. So it's been about an hour, and dough's literally just been sitting here in the beautiful London sunshine. It's a very hot day. Hopefully it's doubled in size. If it hasn't, it might be the end of my YouTube career, but we'll see. Oh, it's pretty good. Woohoo! for this next stage, we're getting ready for our second proofing. I'm just going to take our lovely risen dough here, get it onto the counter. Oh, it's so squidgy. It's a real pleasure to play with this stuff. It's like Play-Doh. It's a bit wet because we've had a bit of oil on it. What we're going to do now is what we call knocking it back. So we're just taking the air out of it a little bit. We don't want to overwork it. We just want to get it into a state where we can start to form it into our pizza shape, in baker's terms. I'm going to get it into our tray like so. Nothing fancy here. We're not going for a round pizza, we're going for a rectangular pizza focaccia. And this is going to double in size again, so we're going to leave a bit of space around the sides for it to expand. Now we're just going to cover it again with our damp tea towel and get it back in the sunshine. Now that's going to go for about another half an hour until it's doubled in size again, and then we're ready to finish, put our toppings on and bake. So it's been about half an hour. Hopefully our dough has doubled in size again. I'm a bit worried about this. Looks okay. Oh yes, looks good. It's gotten lovely and fluffy and puffy again. It springs back a little bit. That's exactly what we want. So we're getting ready to finish up here. We've got a basic focaccia here, and we're going to go and turn it into a pizza in a minute. Before we do that, it's going to make some little dimples. Easiest way to do that is just use your fingers and make some nice little holes in it. It's fun. Because we're going to fill those little holes with deliciousness. All sorts of toppings. We're going to fill them. They're going to seep up some lovely olive oil and all sorts. It's going to be great. So at this stage, right, if we were making a regular old school focaccia, all we do is we get a bit of our friend Rosemary on there, Mrs. Rosemary, and we give it a drizzle of olive oil, and we probably hit it with a little bit of sea salt, and then we put it in the oven. That would be a regular focaccia, but we're not doing that. We're making focaccia pizza bread. We're getting excited about this. So I'm going to have 4 quadrants with 4 different pizza toppings on, and this is where we can get creative and put whatever we like on our focaccia pizza. First thing I'm going to go with is I'm going to go with some tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes. I just realised I haven't washed the pesticide off these bad boys yet. I'm going to do tomato, basil, olives. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some little basil leaves in my little dimples. I love basil. It's got this fragrant punch to it. We're going to have a couple more tomatoes going on there. I've got a lovely mixed selection of black and green olives. I love an olive. Now that quadrant are on there, quad 1 and quad 2. I've got these lovely thinly sliced onions, and I'm going to get them over here in quad 2. Loads of them. Again, I'm going to try and push them down a little bit. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of smoked paprika, and you know me, I like a bit of chili heat. I've got one more thing. I'm going to get a few chili flakes on there as well. Why not? Yummy. Here we've got some sun blush tomatoes. They've been ripened in the sun. They've left with a bit of olive oil. I'm going to get them in with the courgettes and the peppers. And this is our little mixed Mediterranean vegetable section. These are some of my favourite things. You use your favourite things for your focaccia pizza. That's what it's all about. And I know what you're thinking. Last section, final section, last but not least. All we're going to do is we're going to go a bit classic on this section. Rosemary, by the way, for your focaccia is a must. It's essential. So final thing before we get it back in the oven is we're going to get old from Mr. Olive Oil here, and we're just going to give it a nice liberal drizzle of olive oil. Getting close, Mr. Cameraman, get close up. And last but not least, we're going to hit it with a little bit of salt, a rock salt, pepe. 35 minutes on about 180 degrees. That's a medium oven. Ciao! Get down here, we're ready, we're there. Woo! Mamma mia. 4 quadrant focaccia pizza bread. Unbelievable. Loads of flavour, loads of juice from those lovely Mediterranean veg. Let's try the olive and tomato and basil. Mmm! That's just delicious. Those olives, unbelievable. Filming TV is hard work. We've been filming all day and we're going to go to the shop now and get some nice cold tropical juice. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this recipe, go out this weekend, get your own ingredients and make it yourself at home. It's going to be great. And if you want to see some more videos from Guerrilla Kitchen, it would really help us out if you could hit that subscribe button, give me a little like and leave us a comment down below. Tell me what you want to see on the Guerrilla Kitchen and I'll do my best to make it for you. I've been Mr. H, this is Guerrilla Kitchen, see you next time.